a lot of things that had happened in my past, and they're like little tick marks, you know. Life is really short, and you only get one of them. And so why care about that one person that doesn't love you or doesn't care about you or talks crap about you? Why care about that when you have 1,000 other people that love and care and support you? And that's kind of been my mentality about everything, especially with the race around the planet.
On the Wind is presented this season by Orca. Check out getorca.com to look at navigation for the modern boater. I have been advocating tablet navigation, iPad navigation, since at least 2017, but there's not been a good solution because the iPads, there's not a great charging solution to keep them waterproof outside. There's no way to mount them properly. And finally, somebody has almost answered my prayers. I've been working with Orca now on Spica for my trip I did last week, and they have a really awesome marinized tablet that has an induction charging mount that plops right at my helm station on Spica. If you're going coastwise, like this is it. This is the way to do it. And check it out. So go to getorca.com. Highly recommend them, and I'm very excited to use it more on Eastbjorn, Falcon, and Spica. So, Nikki, Cole Brauer this week. This is like a big one that I'm very excited to listen to as a fan of the podcast. But I was thinking about this because, like, I know you, right? Like, we're friends. Cole is like kind of this larger than life personality to most people, but like you're also this larger than life personality to most people. What do you feel like when you interview somebody like this? Do you feel like how do you feel? I won't put words in your mouth.
Well, that's a big question. But I think, it's exciting to interview someone who is, a similar age and demographic to me. So you always wonder, are we actually as similar as sort of the data suggests? And are we going to be friends or connect on an easy level? So generally, it feels quite exciting. Of course, Cole is a big personality and someone who is very comfortable with being interviewed. She must have done so many interviews in her last year or year and a half. So, of course, you feel a bit like, well, I've got to live up to the standards of the other people that have interviewed her, which is a lot of pressure. She's had some massive mainstream media, give her an hour of their time. So, yeah, I wanted to do a good job.
Were you nervous?
Nervous, no, but certainly respectful of her time and aware that doing a good job was important. But you know me, I'm a perfectionist, so I always want to do a good job.
Did she know you?
I don't.
And your accomplishments? Did she know she was talking to a fellow sailor, like a highly accomplished sailor?
I'm not sure. We connected on social media, so we are interacting on that level. But she's a busy person, and we caught up just the day before she left for the Fastnet, so she had a lot on her mind. But what was nice about that is we actually connected as people instead of just sailors, which, as you know, for me and you is really important. We are rounded humans. We're not just sailing machines.
What was what did you come away with? I know you said it was a while ago. You actually interviewed her back in the summer. We've been saving this one. But do you have any like big picture takeaways?
I mean, it almost always is the case that if someone seems a nice person, they are a nice person. And I can confirm that she was a lovely person and super easy to spend an hour or two with. I think she, I think a lot of the media focuses on Cole's kind of size and build and these sort of ironic things that, of course, men are never referred to. No one says, wow, that guy's 6'7" and he manages to still sit inside a Volvo 70. But of course, that's just as impressive. But I think you don't think about that at all when you meet her. You think about her personality and what she's achieved, and that's that's why podcasts, I think, are a really nice platform. And yeah, it's always sort of reassuring as someone who is just trying to juggle everything in life, family, relationships, my career, sailing, hobbies. It's reassuring to know that everyone in sailing, no matter how successful or amazing they seem, also has this hard juggling act, and no one's a perfect, chiseled human. Everyone has challenges, and it was great to know that, yes, Cole is also a human.
You've got Middle Sea race coming up that you're doing. I forget, what kind of boat did you get for it this time, and what are you looking forward to, and how can people follow the race?
Yeah, so we've got J122. We're actually sailing the same boat this year, so the same boat in the 600 and in the Middle Sea, which will be cool, especially for a couple of the crew who are returning. And oh man, this is a great race. It's at the end of the season. It's the sort of the last hurrah before winter rolls in. So yeah, looking forward to hanging out with Alex and meeting a load of interesting people. I mean, people who want to spend 2 weeks racing in October are a unique blend, and so you're guaranteed to have a good time. So yeah, I'm excited for all of it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm excited to listen to this episode as a fan. As I say all the time, when you're hosting, I get to actually listen to as a fan. So thanks for doing it.
You're very welcome. I hope everyone enjoys it. You're listening to On the Wind, the podcast about offshore sailing. I'm your host, Nikki Henderson. Cole Brauer made history in 2024 as the first American woman to race solo, non-stop, around the world. She crossed the line wearing a hat that read Wild Feminist, a bold and powerful statement from a sailor who'd once been told she was too short for the Southern Ocean. Clearly, she proved them wrong, and along the way captured the hearts and minds of over 450,000 fans by sharing raw, vulnerable glimpses into her life alone at sea. We caught up in Cowes at the end of July, just before the start of the Fastnet race. And it's not often I get to sit down with another woman my age competing at this level in sailing. So I loved this chat, and I have a feeling you're going to enjoy it too. I think I should probably start by saying congratulations.
Oh, yes, thank you.
And yes, you sailed around the world solo. Yes, you were the first American woman to do it. But for me, I think what's inspiring is that you were brave enough to follow your dream.
Oh, that's very kind.
in an industry that has many, many barriers up for people wanting to do that.
Yeah. It's not the easiest sport to get into, and it's definitely not the easiest sport to stay in. And there's definitely a lot of times that you spend kind of banging your head against the wall. And I've always said that there's a lot of women that are a hell of a lot smarter than me and got out early, and now have really nice jobs, and they are less gray than me, and maybe they have more successful personal lives than I do. So yeah, congratulations to the ones who actually got out, and I just ended up stuck.
It's funny that, isn't it? It's an industry where people in the industry, when someone says, I'm going to leave sailing, everyone's like, yes, go for it. Good for you.
You can do it. Yeah,
you're going to make it out, and everyone who's in it, who's doing well, everyone's like, wow, good for you. You made it. Which one's the right side?
Oh God. I don't really know, because I've played both sides of this, of, watching some friends go, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting out of the sport. I'm just done. It's driven me into the ground. I'm over it. And I'm like, you know what? You should go and move into the mountains with your family. That sounds great. And like work as a ski instructor. Lovely. Sounds wonderful. And then people who are super into it, who are super tweaky, and they're constantly talking about, okay, well, we want to take out, 3 mils from the jib Cunningham, because it's less windage and other crazy terms. I love both of those people, and I kind of fall right in the middle of both of them. I'm not the crazy, okay, let's start measuring things, and I will, because I have to, because it's my job, but I don't dream about it at night.
That doesn't come naturally to you as not as much as them.
No, I make lists so I don't forget these things.
So would you say you're an engineering mind or a creative mind, or also kind of in the middle?
I think well, I'm not a big like astrological person, but I am a Gemini. And so I do believe in like that there is two different sides that people can live. And I do like the creative side, as I'm sure you've seen the Instagram. And that creative side is my fun side. That's the artistic side. I went to art school for a year before I decided I wanted to go to medical school. So I do have both sides of my brain that I use fluently. And I switch pretty quickly between the creative side and the engineering mind. But the engineering mind is something I'm still balancing because I'd not practiced in schooling in engineering, and it's just learning as I go, and mostly just doing a lot of failing too.
I've often kind of touted that I think the best sailors in the world have a good balance between the art and the science. Mm-hmm. If you know what I mean. I think sailing is as much of an art as the science. And sometimes when people are so obsessed with the numbers, you need it, don't you? But will that make you actually win the race? Or do you need that feeling, that connection with nature and so on?
Oh, 100%. I think that's how, like, I'm not really trained that well in Adrena or expedition, or I think my only navigating that I was really good at was, plotting marks and going to them and making sure I was staying in the pressure or out of the big pressure. And reading weather didn't come naturally in the beginning. I brought in the correct people that I knew that I could learn from, and then made it happen. But I think I struggle with that side. And some people are like Will, the co-skipper of Militia, he just has that mindset. It's just so impressive, actually, how he can just sit down and he has an issue with the computer or with the navigation software, and he's like, or a bug in it, and he's just coding and changing things, and all of a sudden it's like perfect, and he does it in seconds. I don't have that. I would love to have that one day.
My eyes are like opening wide. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Also don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm really good at social media, but that's also because I have a lot of practice. But I think if I had spent 4 months working on Adrena, I probably could be quite good at it too.
Right. It's about, you can learn things, if you have the right headspace.
Very fast. I think that's my biggest thing. Is that I learn really, really fast, mostly out of desperation.
Right. And I think that anyone who got into sailing later, I say later, but I always use this example. I'm like, if someone was a jet pilot in the Navy, Top Gun style, and they said to you, oh, I started flying jets when I was 10, you would be a bit shocked, wouldn't you?
You'd be like, are you okay?
Yeah, so it's not that strange to start sailing necessarily in your late teens or early 20s. Yeah. But you must be a quick learner.
Yes. I didn't realize that at the time, that when I started sailing at 19, that was late, because I just assumed, I'm just learning this new thing and this is exciting and I'm starting my university career. That everyone starts a university career with new things. So it was all a stumble. You're going to your first classes and then you're also sailing on the water. Everything was kind of tricky and difficult. And so because I was already in that mindset of I have to learn to survive here, it just kind of, everything came naturally, like in my studies and then also on the water.
So did you feel like an outsider?
No. Actually, I mean, Hawaii, so I went to the University of Hawaii. Hawaii is a very inclusive place. There's some, people that hate Hawaii in specific ways and say, the locals don't like, tourists coming and the haoles come in and blah, 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 blah. I think that's a small, like a really, really minute undertone. And the family that or the ohana that kind of brought me in was the sailing community, and the coaches at the University of Hawaii, Jesse Andrews and Andy Johnson. And they were very strong at You must be out on the water all the time. Any boat that you get your hands on, it doesn't matter if it's old, doesn't matter if like the sails are torn into pieces, fix the sails. If the boat's sinking, stop it from sinking. There was no new boats in Hawaii, and that actually made it more fun, I think, for me, because I was not an advanced sailor. And so working on a boat that was falling into pieces, I'm like, well, I don't know how to fix this. So I'm going to learn how to fix it because I have to. And it was a great learning environment.
Right. That like, just try everything. Like it's almost like a yes environment.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Why not?
So
Yeah.
then when you came back to the East Coast, was that like, whoa, this is different?
Yeah, it was really different. I got a job working under a boat captain on a couple really beautiful big boats, and I had almost no idea what I was doing, and I was just kind of pretending like I knew what I was doing, and I knew how to race, but now I was in a different world. I was delivering boats and learning how to dock boats, and everything was completely new all over again, and I was stumbling. The only good side was that I had found a mentor that was absolutely brutal to me. And I needed that because I was I'm gonna curse, but I was a little shithead, and I just thought I knew everything. I came out of Hawaii. I had won a couple big awards leaving Hawaii, and so I was like on top of the planet. I had done my really big offshore race, the Pac Cup, and done it successfully as a watch captain. So I was feeling top of the planet, like, and then get, to the East Coast. And I had a mentor, Timmy Fetch, who was like, no, that's great what you did over here, but this is an industry, and like there is big money here, and you can't make mistakes, and you're always on tryout, and you're always out the door. If you're not doing the right thing, if you're not stepping up, you're not being professional, you're gone. And that was great to tell a 24-year-old who was trying to get out of their parents' house, as much as possible after moving back in. So I needed that kind of push and that type of, not anxiety, but just someone to be like, you don't have life by the balls yet. Like you are just beginning. You are still like a speck on the dirt for all of these legends that are walking through the door in Newport, Rhode Island, Charleston, South Carolina, Miami, even in the Caribbean. Like you have legends coming from all over the planet to come race in these places. And if you make a fool of yourself, that's your fault. And he was good.
But he still stuck around and guided you along your path.
I think that I think he maybe was living slightly vicariously through my antics. Actually, I think I was bumbling around the industry. I was doing whatever he asked me to do. Like if he asked me to figure out electrical, which I had never done electrical in my life. I didn't know anything. I had taken physics at university, but a textbook physics class, and then trying to create an outlet, and you have to first cut a hole in a wall, like a really nice like teak wall without messing it up, and then put an outlet and then try not to shock yourself, with 110. You're learning it like on the go. And he, I think, was living vicariously through that, but also enjoying the process that I was soaking everything up. Like I looked up to him so much and I respected him so much that when he spoke, I shut up and I listened to every single word and I took notes, and and I wanted him to like me so badly. I would have done anything for him just to be somewhere near his level at some point in my life.
I mean, people who are listening to this might laugh now because I'm about to say that we're older and wiser, both of us being around 30 years old. But
I'm still an idiot.
But that personality trait, I am old enough to know that isn't in everyone. That hunger to learn, that eagerness to try, even if you fail. Like
I didn't know that people existed like that, to be honest. I never knew until like later on in the industry when you see people come up and then they end up like not making it or whatnot or stumbling or I didn't recognize it because I was always the dumbest person in the room.
Yeah, totally understand you.
So I was always seeing like all these super people, around me, and I was always like the youngest and the dumbest. And I didn't really appreciate it then, but I actually that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, you want to be the dumbest person in the room. Like, you want to be soaking up all the knowledge like that you possibly can from like these people who, they may be, not sailing as hard as they used to, but they have been around the planet. They have seen things. They have been underwater. Like, these people know how to fix things in the worst possible conditions, and those are the people you want to learn from.
So do you remember when you first kind of faced a problem in your life and realized you could figure it out yourself? Because that seems to be a theme in your life. Like, you must have this inner voice that says to Cole, yeah, I think I can work this out.
That's actually a great question. I don't think I do a lot of these interviews. I don't think anyone's actually asked me that. Like, I'm going to give an answer that I've never actually given before. When I was a kid, I was that kid that always used to carry around like the Rugrats backpack, like the little
Love
jean,
the Rugrats,
like the little jean backpack that's like, I'm holding up my hands right now, but I'm gonna say,
yeah, maybe
I
10
can't even
inches?
say 10 inches. Oh, thank you for saying inches. Been in England for too long. Like the really tiny backpack. And when I was a kid, I used to ride my bike all the time, and I would, fall off my bike and, scrape my knees. And I kind of grew up on a gravel path, and when you fall, you end up having to like pick out the gravel pieces, and you're bleeding all over the place. And so as a kid, I would fall and I have to get home, and I was still probably like between 2 and 5 miles from my parents' house, and that was kind of the safe zone. We had a nice long path that would go. I mean, it wasn't our path; it was a nature preserve, but I used to pretend like it was my path. And
I've got this visual going. This
yeah, it was mine. I tell you, it was mine. And so when you'd fall, or like a tree, like you kind of hit a tree on the way, and then it would like scratch your face. Now you're bleeding down, or you get something in your eye. I started to develop this little backpack of like a little med kit, and it had like gauze and band-aids and like tweezers, to like really, really sharp tweezers, things that you would never give like a 5-year-old. And I remember being that kid who was like riding my bike, and I get really far away from the house, which really far away was like, maybe 5 miles. That would probably be the furthest when I was like between 5 and 8 years old. As far before I like felt like, okay, it's getting dark.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you're an independent soul.
Yeah, my parents were really busy. And they were very athletic. My parents were triathletes, and so they were kind of like, if you're outside, you're safe. If you're inside on the TV, like that's not going to work.
Wow, they were ahead of their time.
They were ahead. Yeah. They were real. I mean, they met in a gym, so they were very in shape people. And so when I was a kid, yeah, I would like you just learn really quickly, like, oh, okay, like there's these gravel pieces in my knee, and it friggin' hurts when I'm cycling, so maybe I should pick them out. And so you're just starting to learn how to take care of yourself like pretty young. And and then I always had like my Woody doll, which I love Toy Story, and Woody was my favorite. I don't think I've ever told anyone that either. You're learning all the things. And so I always had this dream when I was a kid that I had a backpack. And it was a reoccurring dream. And it was a backpack that was really small, but then you could like take it off your back, put it down, open it up, and it would be like an entire, container, or entire room that had everything you could possibly imagine. And then flash forward, and I live in a van.
It's like kind of like a Mary Poppins meets like some sort of engineering program.
Yeah. And I was like 5 or 6, it was like such a weird, and my mom was always like, yeah, she's always prepared. She always has everything with her, like I never left the house without that stupid little backpack.
Yeah, because I think that it's so easy for people to see someone, what the word would be like shoot to fame or be really successful young,
Yeah,
and think, oh, it's luck, or it's just right time, right place. It's
Yeah.
like there are core parts of your personality that contributed to your overall success. And that's
Yeah.
a really interesting one.
Yeah.
That
Wow,
kind
I
of
never even
self-sufficiency.
I just wrote a book and I didn't even put that one in there. That's so dumb. That was such a good one.
Well, I can't wait to read the book, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I know it just got sent to the publishers, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see once the edits come back.
Did you get to choose the artwork for the front, or did they tell you that?
So I am actually, I'm going to bring in a friend of mine who did all the design work for the t-shirts for my Round the World race, and I hope that she will do all my illustrations.
Oh, I hope so too, because they sometimes take a lot of control over that. So
I know, and I'm going to fight them on it. Well, I hope that they don't hear this, but yes,
yeah, we're rooting for you. So something I wanted to ask you was about your sense of purpose. You know, when we first started, you said, you know, this industry can be hard to stay in.
Yeah.
So what keeps you in?
Ooh. Oh. That's actually a really tough question. Because there's not because I can't think of one, but because there's so many. Okay, first I'm gonna say I love projects. I absolutely adore projects. I love coming to a new team and just it's always frustrating. You know, you're always kind of like, okay, well, I got to get used to these new people and doing this new thing. And okay, I don't know where anything is. And now you're developing your backpacks. You're developing like these, okay, I this is my toolkit. These are my spares. This is what I need. This is what I take for the inshore. This is what I'm taking for the offshore. This is what I'm taking for, you know, if I'm leaving the boat. This is, and you kind of are compartmentalizing, you know, this entire program in your own way. And I really like that. And then secondarily, I really like once you have all of that all set and the whole thing is labeled and beautiful and perfect, and then you can go out there and execution is now perfect, where your steps are on point and you can almost do it exhausted. You could do it hungover. You can do it just like getting off a plane. Your plane was delayed. You're miserable. You haven't eaten, and you can still do it and execute a maneuver perfectly.
So satisfying.
So satisfying to get off the water and be like, that was executed perfectly because of all of the ridiculous preparation that I did. Like the preparation side is my like, I don't know if I could do another job because I think I would go crazy. I can't do things at 50%. I have like almost a problem with my brain where it's either absolutely nothing, I'm not doing it, or 110%. And that, you know, is a problem when you're trying to have a personal life and trying to do other things and whatnot, because I just have a lot of focus towards one thing.
Yeah, sailors are often good friends with other sailors because we don't really know how to interact with normal humans.
Yeah. I have to say small talk with regular humans is still sometimes better than small talk with sailors that I don't know.
Unless you like talking about analyzing the last race for the next 3 days.
God, I can just do that so much. And I think because I came into sailing so late that like, yeah, I'll get up from a conversation. I'll delicately get up. I'm quite polite, I think. And I'll go and chat with somebody else about like, you know, so what happened today that wasn't sailing related?
Oh, I hear you. It's like there's this cosmic timer that goes off at a certain point in the evening where you think it is now time
6
to
p.m.
try and be a normal person again.
Yep.
Everyone who's listening here who's still talking about sailing at 9 p.m. at night, you need to cut it off.
Oh, the beers at the Anchor. So beers at the Anchor, we have like a team WhatsApp group and it's called Anchor Watch, and at 5:30 we go have beers with the 52 and the 40, and it's great. But at 6 I am dressed up, earrings on, like mascara, my eyebrows are done, and I'm in a nice outfit that is not sailing related, and I walk in and I don't want to talk about sailing. If I'm wearing a regular outfit at 6 p.m., it means I don't need to. I'm perfectly happy about talking about, oh, what a pretty glass this is. I don't know, just regular human things, or going dancing, or oh, what music do you like? What do you listen to? Have you been to that new band? Have you seen this? Like, what movies do you like? Like, I love the arts, and I mean, I love to travel. Traveling for work is starting now in my 30s, is starting to get a little hard on me. I think I'm like, maybe just I'm a little decrepit from the 15 years of travel, but anyways.
When you say you love the arts, museums, music, theatre, reading.
I don't go to museums, but when I do, I'm there all day. And that's probably why I don't go, because it just takes too much time. I get sucked in. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to a museum. It's boring. And then I go, and then I'm like, oh, it's amazing. Oh, fuck. And then I get totally sucked in to a museum, and yeah, I can't go to
Honestly,
museums.
it's nice to hear this, because I think, especially when you become a public figure, but even just being a sailor, because sailing is so many people's passion and interest, which of course it is yours and mine. People kind of think, oh, you don't have anything else to talk about, or you are actually a rounded person.
Oh, I can talk about politics. They don't like to talk about that. I can talk about religion. I that's what I mean by, like, I went to school, and the one class that I didn't take was engineering, but I took everything else. I'm not religious, but I took religion because I wanted to know more about it, because I didn't grow up religious. I took any art class I could, drawing, life drawing, art history. I really loved art history. I've taken so many different classes because I wanted to learn everything, and I wanted to find, okay, well, maybe I didn't really love that. Let's try this and try that. And I kind of, did my checks and balances as I went along. And I think I enjoy the creative side of my brain a lot. And when I'm not sailing, I focus on that deeply.
Yeah, I was wondering actually how you decompress.
Movies,
Movies, yeah.
Oh,
just anything that isn't sailing.
Oh, I could sit and watch the most gorgeous, like, sunset and just read like a really nice book. And I love like autobiographies. I love listening to people's stories. I absolutely adore like people's, because I think when we have discussions with people, right, and you meet someone, hi, my name is Cole, yours is blah, we're having a beautiful, like, small talk discussion, right? We'd never get into the nitty gritty. But then when you read someone's memoir, it is raw, and it is real, and it is their past, and it is deep, and it is beautiful, and it will make you laugh, it will make you cry, it will make you hurt, it will make you cringe. Like, those things don't get touched on a lot of times when you're first getting to know somebody. And I think that's why when I first start to talk to someone, I will say like ridiculous things, and people are either like taken aback, or they're like, are we friends? We're friends. Yes, we are already friends. Because I think we can bypass how's the weather to,
Yeah. And I think sailing teaches you that, no?
Yes.
Because you are very quickly forced into that situation, because it pushes you to the edge of your comfort, maybe, or you're just on top of each other and someone's taking a poo next to you or something.
Oh, yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, it can get very personal really quickly. But I like that side of it. I love the personal side. I'm not afraid of the personal side. I'm not afraid about talking about how I'm feeling, or if my body hurts, or if I need something. Like, I don't think that I complain about things. I think I try to discuss things, and I want to hear what other people are feeling, and how can we make things more comfortable? How can we make things more satisfying? Or because if you work like with people a lot, you understand that, when people are comfortable and when they're happy, they do better.
Yes, I totally agree. And it reminds me of a quote that I think I've heard you say or read, and I'm not going to say this right, but something about how it's not about being a woman, it's about bringing feminine energy to the job.
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely have a very masculine side of me, and I think that's like, I can get along with the boys at the bar. I can do the dirty jokes. I can do the full male energy side, and I can make it work. But then 30 seconds later, I can have a very, very nice, delicate conversation about anything, anything other than what I just said. And, and I think that because I can do both sides, and it doesn't harm me, it doesn't create it's not energy consuming to kind of bounce back and forth between the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And I think a lot of people in this day and age are actually trying to develop their feminine energy when they're men, and maybe even women are trying to develop their masculine energy. And I think that that's a absolute skill set, because if we keep trying just to force ourselves into these little pockets, you're only seeing 50% of a perspective. You're losing a lot in the overall life here.
Yeah. I wonder, this was actually been a huge dilemma for myself throughout my sailing career, is, first of all, I wholeheartedly agree. And secondly, I struggled with finding a feminine mentor in the industry, in the sailing industry, like a woman who was very feminine to look up to, or
I agree.
Would you say you had any
feminine women to look up to? Just my best girlfriends, honestly. They're probably like my biggest role models, and they stop me from doing a lot of stupid stuff. I'm very, very close with like a very nice group of women. We do like Miami winters and Newport summers, and they bring the feminine energy, but also they are incredibly masculine in a way. Like they can do whatever dirty joke you want them to do. Like they are wild, and they are free, and they're strong, but then they still have a soft, delicate side. It's really like I kind of found like this niche. It was really difficult in the beginning for me to find someone that was kind of like me, where we could kind of flow in a way where it's just not just, okay, we're just going this way, or we're just going this way. And I also found a few feminine men in like the mentorship side. I don't know if they would find it polite for me.
They should find it complimentary.
They should. I think that if in this day and age, I think that they will. But if I had said that 10 years ago, I don't think that they would have found that complimentary. Like, I think that the times are very slowly changing, where I can say that without like a man getting offended, where it's actually a compliment, because women are clearly attracted to feminine men. Clearly, men that can have a masculine side but a softer side, women are attracted to that. And so it would be dumb for a man to think that he can pick up a woman with just masculine energy. But, what do I know? Just a 30-year-old woman over here who's been dating for 15 years.
We should probably move on.
Yeah.
It's gonna get personal.
Carry on.
No, I fully agree. And you managed to show your feminine energy solo sailing, because I think a lot of feminine energy is shown through nurturing and looking after other people. And it was great to see you embracing it and showing it off, because that's actually quite brave and vulnerable.
Yeah. I think in the beginning, I didn't look at it as like crazy. I just looked at it like, this is what I do behind closed doors. And now I'm just going to get used to having, my phone right there videoing. And, in the beginning, when I first started filming myself, the videos are horrible. I never even posted them. They're 12 minutes long, and it's me jabbering about sailing or whatnot. And I remember sending it over to a couple of my girlfriends, and they were like, Cole, we can't watch this. We didn't even watch 30 seconds of this. It's horrible. Like, stop talking about sailing. And I was like, well, like, what do I talk about? And they're like, I don't know. Like, just do your skin routine. And I was like, I don't know. Is that weird? And they were like, no, like, you do it in the van. Like, what's the big deal? Now you're just going to film it doing it on a boat. And I did it and I sent it to them and they're like, that's fabulous. Post it this second.
That's almost like a good test. It's like if you'll send it to your girlfriends or your boyfriends, then it's worth it.
And they were like, we watched the whole thing and we watched it 3 times. And I was like, done. It's done. It's kind of like when you're creating like a work of art and you're like so nervous about it and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is good. And then you finish painting and you're like kind of nervous about it and you show your like the people who you love and trust the most. And they're like, I love it. I can't stop like eating it. Like I just love the whole thing. I'm just like devouring this painting. Yeah.
Did you ever go too far and film yourself and you think maybe this is just a little bit too personal? Maybe I should not send that one.
The IV.
Okay.
I was very nervous about in the beginning. Really, really nervous about. My family had drug issues in the past, and I really didn't want it to be promoting like shooting up, and like I really, really struggled with that video because I wanted it to show that it's a health thing and not just me like taking advantage of a situation or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so I had sent it to a couple family members who had had problems with drugs in the past. They were really nervous about that too. And this is all happening within like hours of us trying to make the decision. Do we actually post this into the planet, onto social media? And then I sent it and my media manager was like, we have to, like, this is real life. Like you have been throwing up and shitting yourself for 48 hours. Like you're doing an IV. It's recommended by your medical professional. Like people should know you're in 40 knots of breeze, slamming upwind, like shoving a needle in your vein. And I was like, yeah, but what about the ramifications? And pretty much my whole team was like, you're not going to get any ramifications. Like people are going to see this. Like
it's the story. And I posted it and it was probably 99.9% positive. I'm really sorry to hear about your family if they've struggled with drugs, but it also sounds really beautiful that you can talk to them about it.
Yeah. And I think that like we have a very open conversation with my family about drugs, alcohol, like everything. And I think that's what's made me maybe more open about life in general, is because I'm really close with like my mom and her side of the family and my dad's side of the family, and we can really say anything. Like my sister and I can say whatever we want, and our parents say whatever I want, like in front of us. And that kind of changed. My mom got cancer when I was 18, and it was like a flip of a switch where we were kind of a little bit more of a conservative family and more quiet and no cursing, no nothing, like very like straight edge. And then my mom got breast cancer at 18 when I was 18. And it was like, boom, all of a sudden she starts cursing, like life opens up. And she's like, if I die one day, I'm going to do and say whatever I want. And all of a sudden we are now this open family that can talk about anything.
Wow, that must have been a lot for you at 18.
Yeah, it was. I honestly, I mean, she's fine now. And it was definitely the thing that pushed me into food science and human nutrition. And it was the thing that pretty much brought me out of when I was going to art school, and I was like, I'm going to go into medicine. Like we have to change whatever's going on in the United States because it's such a problem. And so it was I don't want to say a blessing in disguise, but it made my mom and I ridiculously close. And I think that's, sometimes when you have something that is potentially tragic, it is that blessing that brings everyone together.
Right. And do you think it's ever kind of fueled you, like life's short, you might as well go for it?
I don't know. I don't know if it was like her cancer in particular. I think that there was like a lot of things that had happened in my past, and they're like little tick marks,
Yeah.
And eventually you're like, life is really short and you only get one of them. And so, why care about that one person that doesn't love you or doesn't care about you or talks crap about you? Why care about that when you have 1,000 other people that love and care and support you. And that's kind of been my mentality about everything, especially with the race around the planet.
Preach. Yes.
Yeah.
I only have one final question I wanted to specifically ask you.
Yeah.
Which was, you started sailing. Actually, no, now I have two questions. This is how it works.
That's okay.
You started sailing. You signed up to do this race. Presumably, you're kind of being fueled because you love sailing. I mean, on a basic level. And somewhere along the line, you kind of have become an inspiration, one would say, and a role model. Do you know if that is particularly a purpose for you? Are you driven by that, or is it mostly still the passion of sailing that drives you?
I think it's actually the around the world actually was really more for me about like the nature side, and the sailing side was a little bit more secondary, because for me sailing it's a profession, it's a hobby, it's all of these things. I could sail inshore, offshore for the rest of my life, and never go around the planet. And so it kind of was like, okay, that it's always going to be in my life. I'm always going to find the job. I'm always going to be living in my van in the marina parking lot. And then the nature side was such a big push for me because I loved nature as a kid. I spent a lot of time in nature, and then I felt like I was kind of being pulled away from it. You're living out of cities, and I would always kind of look at the sky and at the trees and be like, I just want to, like, how do I get away from all of this and just smell fresh air and be real? And I think that the inspiration side, where the entire campaign got a lot of notoriety, obviously. We never expected that to happen, for sure. I think that we were really excited when we got to 10,000 followers. We were like, wow, like we're taking off. This is so cool. Like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I had been at 2,000 followers for, I don't know.
Yeah, that's basically
like,
famous, 10,000.
I know. 10,000 was like insane to me. And I was really happy with 10,000. I was like, I don't need any more. Like, we're good. Like, I got my people. They write really nice comments. We're happy. Like, good, I was like, I've got my community. This is like the community, the social media community. And then it kept going. And I don't think I really looked at it as a way, like I kept thinking of it as that 10,000 person community, because I was like, that's a lot. 10,000 is like, that's a stadium. I mean, it's not a stadium, but it's big. And then I went all the way around and I finished. And the weirdest part is that people showed up to the finish line and I didn't know how to even greet them. And I didn't know how, like when they showed up and they said congratulations, it was like the most awkward thing I've ever had in my life, because it was never about that. It was never about me being like the face or the I don't know, like this, like this, like God. It wasn't ever about this like God complex or whatever. It was always about nature. It was always me just wanting to get back out there and enjoy it and see it and play with the wind and play with the waves and be with the birds and just feel everything and bring in that artistic side. And now I had people that were like, oh, congratulations, I would love to take a photo with you, which was cool. It was really cool. It happened last night a few times. But it's still a little bit, I don't know how to do it. Because it was never the reason why I did it.
I understand, yeah, and that must, so you get to land, you've said goodbye to sort of your happy place, you're now in the concrete and the online world again, and everything.
Horrendous.
And then you've got this expectation almost being planted on you of, well, interact with these humans you don't know. I mean, that must have just been such a headspin. It's hard enough already getting to land.
Yeah. I would say it was really tricky. And and I stumbled a lot. I didn't know really what to say. I came up with a really good script really quickly, like not writing anything down, just here we go. This is what I'm going to say. And so that I could get through things kind of quickly. And you go into almost a survival mode, way more of a survival mode than I was when I was sailing in the Southern Ocean in 70 knots breeze and 30-foot waves, which to me felt safe. That felt secure. And then all of a sudden you're in this concrete jungle, trying to learn contracts, trying not to get screwed over, trying to figure out like money and how much do people pay me to do things and whatnot. When before, everything in the sailing world is a handshake. It's a handshake. It's a negotiation. It's a polite conversation on the side. It's normally at a bar after a couple beers. Oh, hey, I know somebody that needs crew to go here at this location. Here's their phone number. They'll contact you. Easy, right?
Right, so you've got to land, and now you have to worry about people screwing you over, and everyone else thinks that nature's screwing you over the whole time, throwing 70 knots in your face, and you're like, actually, it feels like nature's on my side in comparison to this.
Oh, nature never was trying to hurt me. I mean, nature would be doing exactly the same thing, whether I was there or not. And then all of a sudden, I'm in this world that I don't know, and I don't know who to trust. And yeah, I did a lot of hiding. And I think my true fans, like the people who were really committed to the campaign, were really like nervous and scared for me of like, well, where are you? Like, why aren't you doing this? And I definitely screwed a lot of things up. Like I could have probably made more money or done this or become more famous or whatever it may be. But that I honestly mentally could not do it because I wasn't there.
Yeah, and that more and more and more and more, it's like, and when is enough?
When is enough? Like I was really happy in my van, and I was getting on so many airplanes to do all these gigs and things, and I was like, but I don't feel, if my heart's not into it, you're not going to get the product that you want, and that's a problem.
It actually makes me feel quite emotional for you. I think that would have been really, really challenging.
There was a lot of tears for sure.
Did you have a space in nature on land that you could escape to?
I did. I actually have been visualizing it, this conversation, actually. I won't tell you exactly where it is.
Yes, please don't, because otherwise it won't be your secret haven anymore.
Yeah, it won't be my secret haven, but I'll tell you, it's in Newport, Rhode Island, and it is overlooking water. I can't tell you what water, but it's overlooking some water, and it gets a beautiful sunset. And I'd wake up every morning. I'd have the door open, like I could have the door of my van open. It's completely safe, and I'd sleep all night, and with the door, and you could just like watch the boats go by, and you could hear the boats and stuff, and then you get up, and I'd make my coffee in the van, and I walk down to the water and put my feet in the water, and it was always cold. Newport water is always cold, it floods in, from the Atlantic, and and then I'd walk over to the toilet and take my morning poop, and it was wonderful.
Everyone was just blissing out for a second,
and then I ruined
right back
it
into reality.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I ruin it always.
Well, I'm very, very, very glad you get back into nature, because I think at the end of the day, you actually said this term, we're back in the real world, but nature's real, but being at sea is real. It's like, what is real? What is real life? For anyone who's never tasted being out at sea, maybe they're missing out.
I think that's a beautiful way of putting it, honestly. I think that people really don't truly understand what real life is until you experience being that far offshore away from land, where like the clouds, you can't even see the clouds that are like hazily over land. You're that far away. Like that is like 1,000 or so miles away from a piece of land. And it is unbelievably the best feeling on the planet. And I would do anything to be back every day.
Yeah, agreed. It's so brilliant to hear you you're in love with nature, and you can just hear it, and no one can see you apart from me.
Well, I look terrible right now anyway, so it's good.
Evidence is real.
Evidence.
Okay, I have a 20 question quick round I'd love to do with you. How do you feel about that?
Let's go.
Okay, they should be very easy, she says.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 20 questions. I'll start with the first easy one, and it's a British one. I have to start with this. Coffee or tea?
Oh, debatable. I've done tea, but I like coffee for the taste.
With milk or no milk?
Milk and sugar.
Inshore or offshore?
Offshore. Offshore.
Helm or autopilot?
Autopilot. Easy.
Your favorite point of sail?
Like a broad reach, like a super broad reach, but not running, not like downwind.
And your favorite sail setup?
Good one. Fractional, like a fro, with one reef in, and the orange storm in about like 27 knots, no waves, flat water. In a just off the beam, maybe like a 120, like a 115, 120. Yeah,
yes,
that's a
people.
fucking,
You should be drooling right now.
That's a fucking great. I'm sorry, excuse my French. That's a great point of sail with a fractional and like one reef, and like the orange, the little orange guy in the middle. Oh, that's a great point of sail. Yeah, just bombing flat water, of course. No waves, people. I could live without waves.
Just hold the plane. Away you go.
Just all the ballast in the back.
Night sail or day sail?
Night.
Solo or crew?
Solo.
Your favorite freeze-dried meal?
Oh, ostentatious tortilla soup from Packet Gourmet.
Your favorite piece of equipment on board?
Ooh, this changes like every day. Headlamp, love a headlamp. Okay, actually two. Headlamp and the tiny eyeglass screwdrivers.
Yes.
Necessary. I like my fingernails the way they are, and so those things, you can fix anything with those things.
Okay, this is a funny one because I got asked this the other day. Do you call the person in charge a skipper or a captain?
Captain. That took me a second.
Yeah.
That one took me a second.
One thing you never go to sea without?
My sanity. No, I'm kidding.
She goes to get her sanity.
Running. Ooh, tough one. Oh, see, this goes back to my backpack. Like, I wanted to bring everything. My first initial thought when you asked was a knife. My second was a medical kit. So
it is the backpack.
it is a backpack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any unusual luxury items that you take with you?
Yes, my skincare routine.
What is your skincare routine?
Oh, only a woman would ask me this question. I love it.
By the way, only women is allowed to ask this question.
I know. No, Boris asked me to. I made him one too for the Vendée.
Excellent.
It's great. It's like little face wipes, of course, and then a mycel water like to put on to. So you first do a wipe with the face wipes that get the first wash off, and then I add the mycel water, like sensitive skin, and like in the little bottle, and that just the cooling of that is so nice. And then I have a little spray of a toner, which is just witch hazel with a little bit of like rose in it, for like little spray. Everything's for like cooling and cleaning, and I do face, neck, and chest. And a little bit of my back. I try to get my back. And then after the toner, I have a like cooling moisturizer that has a little bit of sunscreen in it.
You must smell great.
I smell so good. And then I bring a little bottle of essential oil with me that's Lily's.
Oh, I bring lavender with me as well.
Oh, yeah. And
You
I just
smell
put a little
nice.
bit like right on my wrists and 2 dabs on the neck. And it just and I don't wear deodorant. I'm like the weirdest sailor ever. I do a full skincare routine, but I don't bring deodorant.
And do you think you sail faster because you have a skincare routine?
Yeah, my skin doesn't break out nearly as bad. And I also don't get like skin infections. I used to get them really bad when I was first getting started, and I was like, what is going on? And I realized that I could make a kit that was super small. No one would even know that I was like hiding this tiny little, and it's the same thing as the backpack. It's like my little med kit, but for my face, neck, chest, and back. And it's perfect. I made one for Boris for the Vendée, and I like kind of showed him how to use it. Oh, and it's got a little face roller in it. I found one that's like this big in St. Martin.
Whenever you see Cole, everyone, you need to tell her that her skin looks amazing.
It does, and this is
And
really, and it's really hard to make my skin look good because it constantly wants to break out and it's constantly sun damaged, and I have like hyperpigmentation, and I'm like fighting off so much sun damage all the time, and so for it to look like this is me putting in a lot of effort.
This is classic women. We did a quick fire round and now we're chatting. So
oh shoot, sorry, continue on. You can edit this down.
No, you're all good. Okay, now I've completely lost. I was getting too into the skincare. Starry night or full moon?
Starry night, always.
Post race meal?
Burger, fries, chocolate milkshake.
Yes, spoken like a true American.
Even when I showed up in Australia, I was like, I want to. After 74 days, I was like, done. That's all I want.
I'm sure we'll have some nodding heads. This might be too woo-woo for you, but spirit animal?
Ooh, tiger.
Feminine and masculine. Love it.
Yeah, it used to be a bat, and I had to change it. I felt like bat wasn't strong enough.
Tiger definitely is.
Well, I wanted to be a dragon, but dragon's not an animal. So.
It can be cool.
Oh, thanks.
Most underrated sailing skill?
Ooh. Oh God, I was gonna say that I don't get fright when I pee.
We'll take it.
Which a lot of the men are gonna be like, how do you do it?
No pee fear.
No pee fear. In front of anyone, like anytime.
Do you have a sailing hero?
Oh God, I have a few actually. But I'll say Ellen MacArthur for sure.
Can you describe sailing in 3 words? Or perhaps what sailing means to you?
Oh yeah, that's probably better. I was gonna do it for the layman. It's hard. It can be miserable sometimes. Sailing, to me, is the perfect outlet of all of my crazy wrapped into one.
I love that. What's the best advice you've ever received?
I think I already said it. You're under tryout. You can be dropped. That was probably the best advice I've ever had because it snapped me into like, okay, I'm here. I'm here for the fight, for sure.
Yeah, determination, but in a humble way.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't want to lose my job, and I want to be good at this, so I'm here to fight for it.
And we'll finish with the last one, which is sort of a corny one, but we're going with it.
Hit me.
If you were to speak to your childhood self at any age,
Yeah,
what would you tell her?
don't do anything different. Because if I had done anything, even just one thing different, I would not be where I am today. And I'm very happy with where I am.
That is a great, great place to be and a great way to end this.
Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome, Cole. Thank
So
you very
fun.
much.
On the Wind is the podcast about sailing. created by 59 North and hosted by me, Andy Schell, and also by Nikki Henderson, Jesse Zevelkink, and August Sandberg. The show is mixed and produced by me and August in Sweden and Norway, respectively. The intro theme music is composed and performed by former podcast guest, sailor, and musician Cameron Dale, while the outro music you're hearing now is, of course, by our friends, the Stormweather Shanty Choir from Bergen, Norway. We love hearing from our fans, so send your questions and comments to holdfast@59-north.com, and please do us a favor and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to join us on the Quarterdeck as well to nerd out about seamanship. That's quarterdeck.59-north.com. Until next time, hold fast.
And when me money was all gone on liquor and the horse, I made up me mind that I was inclined to go to sea no more. No more, no more, to go to sea no more. I made up me mind that I was inclined to go to sea no more. As I was walking down the street, I met sweet Angeline. She said, come home with me, me lad, and we'll have a cracking time. But when I awoke, it was no joke. I found I was all alone. My silver watch and my money too, and my whole bloody gear was gone. Was gone, was gone. My whole bloody gear was gone. It was when I awoke, it was no joke, for my whole bloody gear was gone. As I was walking down the street, I met Big Rapper Brown. I asked him if he would take me in, and he looked at me with a frown. He said,
last time you was paid off with me, you talked up no score. But I'll take your advance and I'll give you a chance to go to sea once more.
once more, to go to sea once more. I'll take your advance and I'll give you a chance to go to sea once more. Sometimes we're catching whales, me lads, but mostly we get none. With a 20-foot oar in every paw from 5 o'clock in the morn. And when daylight's gone and the night's coming on, we rest upon our oars. And oh boys, you wish that you was dead or snug with the girls ashore. Ashore, ashore, or snug with the girls ashore. Oh boys, you wish that you was dead or snug with the girls ashore. Come all you seafaring lads that listen to me song. When you go a big boating, boys, make sure you do not go wrong. You take my tip when you come off a trip, don't go with any whores, but get married instead and have all night in bed and go to sea no more. No more, no more. married instead and have all night in bed and go to sea no more. No more, no more, to go to sea no more. Get married instead and have all night in bed and go to sea no more.